With the Denver Broncos losing Peyton Manning, a lot of people believe that the Kansas City Chiefs are primed to win the AFC West this year. Do I agree? We're about to find out. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. 32 teams, 32 days, and today we're talking about the Kansas City Chiefs. And as I said in the intro, this is a team that got hot to finish the 2015 regular season, won a bunch of games, won a playoff game, lost in the divisional round to the New England Patriots, which is no small feat, and really impressed us. And with the Denver Broncos losing Peyton Manning, losing that leadership, almost everyone agrees that they will take a step back. Now, some people believe that step will be larger than others, but we can all pretty much agree they're not winning more than 10 games this season. So the AFC West is wide open. Who will take that mantle? Who will take that throne? Well, I'm on the record. I think the Oakland Raiders will win the division, but that doesn't mean that the Kansas City Chiefs will not be a playoff team. We're about to look at the Kansas City Chiefs, look at their strengths, look at their weaknesses, look at their schedule, give you my win-loss prediction, and then we will get out of here. So let's start with their first strength to me. And that would be their front seven. Okay, it's a pretty dominant front seven. Let's start with the defensive line. Dontari Poe at nose tackle. I've been a big Dontari Poe fan throughout his career, although I do believe he's not as dominant as he was in 2014. I still think he's a damn good nose tackle in the NFL. You still have Alvin Bailey. He's a really good player. You still have Jay Howard. Same goes with him. You drafted Chris Jones out of Mississippi State. I didn't love that draft pick, although you guys reached for him just a little bit, but he is some nice depth to have here at the defensive line, so no problems. The defensive line is really good. Look at the linebackers. Now, right now, we have a little bit of an issue when it comes to Justin Houston, but when he's healthy and when he comes back, he is a dominant defensive player, a guy that competes for the Defensive Player of the Year, year in and year out. He's great. Other side, Tamba Hali. The guy is getting old, but guess what? He's still productive. He's still consistent. He's still one of the better edge rushers in the NFL. Okay, so that's good. Inside linebackers, Derek Johnson. Yet again, a guy that might be getting old, but is still one of the more productive players in the NFL, productive players in the NFL, and he continues to be really good. And then next to him, you have Josh Maga, who's pretty good in his own right as well. Now, the problem is with the linebackers, although they're good, I don't love the depth there. Okay, at outside linebacker right now, D Ford, he had 4 sacks last season, but I don't think that he's very good. Frank Zombo, the depth there isn't great. Inside linebackers depth there isn't great either, but overall the front seven is a definite strength for this football team. There's no doubt about that. And then I also like the safeties. Okay, Eric Berry. We already know that this guy's absolutely dominant, coming off of the whole cancer thing. For him to come back the way he did, absolutely phenomenal. And he wants to show out this year because the Chiefs, they don't want to pay him. So he's going to come out and say, this is why you should pay me. He's going to be playing a little more of a deep safety, I believe. This will allow him to make some more plays. I mean, he's just going to be everywhere pretty much. So he's going to make some plays, get some more interceptions, and then get paid how much he deserves. He's absolutely terrific and fantastic. And then next to him, you have Ron Parker, the guy that's been very versatile. He's played corner. He's played safety. He's went back to corner. He's went back to safety. He'll be staying more at safety this upcoming season, and I think he's going to have success. I think he's a better safety than he is a corner, but I think he's pretty versatile both ways, so I think that's good. And you guys have nice depth here at the safety position as well. Plenty of guys there. You guys are also moving Marcus Cooper back there, Jamil Fleming. The depth there is great. The safeties are great to me. All right, so from there, I like the running backs as well. Now, Jamaal Charles is obviously coming off of that torn ACL. Will he be the same player? I'm not sure, but I still think he's going to be pretty freaking good. I still have him pegged for over 1,000 yards, assuming he plays 16 games. So I still think he's going to be a damn good running back to have. And then behind him, Spencer Ware. I mean, this is a guy that doesn't get a lot of respect out there, but he played pretty freaking well near the end of last year. Didn't have a great postseason, but I thought he played pretty well in the regular season had like over 5 yards per carry. That's very impressive. Charkandrick West behind him, Niall Davis, who's on the roster bubble. Hey, these are damn good running backs from top to bottom, so the running back position is another strength for me. So from there, let's talk about the positions that are neither strengths nor weaknesses. Let's start with the quarterback position, Alex Smith. Now, apparently he's looking damn good in training camp, and I'm not surprised, because as we're seeing with a lot of these quarterbacks in the NFL, they're aging like fine wine, a lot of these guys. Once they get into their 30s, deep into their 30s, they get better and they really start to understand the game and really don't make the same mistakes they've made throughout their career. So, hey, we may see a breakout year this year from Alex Smith, and if we do, then this team can definitely not only contend for the AFC West Championship, but for the AFC Championship and even the Super Bowl. Can he make that big step? I think he's going to be better. I'm not going to say he's going to be Carson Palmer or anything like that, but I think he's going to be better. So I like Alex Smith this season. I honestly do. We look at the offensive line. Again, not a strength, not a weakness, but we'll see. You know, you paid Eric Fisher a bunch of money. Chiefs fans, I went over to your website. I'm like, let me see what Chiefs fans are thinking about this. I went over to your SB Nation website. I went over to your the official Kansas City Chiefs website. I went to the forums, see what people are saying. Y'all love this deal. I can't believe it. The guy is not very good, guys. I mean, come on. You paid him top 5 left tackle money. That's ridiculous. Yes, you can say that in 5 years it won't look that expensive because there'll be a bunch of left tackles that will have been paid, and even though it's a top 5 left tackle deal now, it will only be a top 10 tackle deal next year, and then the year after that. No, come on. It's a bad deal. He doesn't deserve this deal. Yes, he's been improving very steadily over the past couple years, but he's still not a very good tackle. If we're ranking the top tackles in the NFL, all 32 tackles, he's ranking at about 20. Okay, he's just not very good. He didn't deserve that money, but hey, at least you have him. He's not bad anymore. He has been, but he's still not good. We also have Parker Ehinger, who you drafted in I think it was the 4th or 5th round out of Cincinnati. We're going to see how he is. I mean, he's a mid-round draft pick. We have to see there. Center Mitch Morse, who you drafted last year out of Mizzou. I love that draft pick, and he came in. He's played really well for y'all, so that's absolutely good. He's going to improve and become one of the better centers in the league, I believe. Right tackle. Right now, you guys are starting Duvernay Tardif. I don't really love him at all. I think he's the worst offensive lineman, assuming we'll see how Parker Ehinger does. And then right tackle Mitchell Schwartz. You sign it over from the Cleveland Browns. I think he's going to be good again. Hopefully, you have to look out for these free agent signings, but if he's good, then that'll be good. And this offensive line could end up being a strength. It just depends on how Parker Ehinger looks and how Mitchell Schwartz transitions, and if Eric Fisher can take just a little bit of a step forward. Let's move on to the wide receivers. A lot of people may have expected me to put this as a weakness, but not quite. Jeremy Maclin, I think he's the number 1 wide receiver. Now, it's a lower tier. I think if we're ranking the 32 starting wide receivers in the NFL, he's probably yet again at about, maybe 18, 19, something like that. But I think he's good. But the interesting thing is he's been lining up at the Z position, and you guys are starting Chris Conley at the X position. Now, I'm interested with Chris Conley. He only had about, I think, 200 yards last year, but he's a guy that intrigued me over at Georgia. I think he's going to take it another step forward, maybe get 600 yards this season, and I'm interested to see how he'll do. Albert Wilson, you have him. I think he's actually a pretty good wide receiver to have as a number 3. He's your number 3. Good. You guys also drafted Demarcus Robinson and Tyreek Hill. I'm not big fans of these guys, but I'll give you this. They have upside, right? So I'll give you that. Jason Avant, I can't believe he's still on the team. I can't believe he'll make the team. I think he's bad. But I think the wide receivers, they're not great. They're closer to being a weakness than a strength. But I think there's upside here. Bunch of young guys. Albert Wilson, Tyreek Hill, Demarcus Robinson, Chris Conley. There's upside here. Enough upside for me to say I'll wait and see before I just trash this position. Let's get into the cornerbacks. And then this, for me, is the weakness of this football team. Marcus Peters, okay, this is a guy that played really well last year. In fact, I think he won, the Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's misleading, guys. He's a guy that is very aggressive, right? He's a playmaker, can get interceptions, and that's great. but in coverage, he's not that great. I mean, he's pretty good. You know, I'm not saying he's bad, but he's not that great. He's a guy that can lose a lot of battles out there. You know, a guy that isn't dominant, doesn't shut people down, but he just makes plays. So, I mean, as a number one corner, I think he's fine, but I don't think that he's great. Ronald Darby's a better cover corner at the NFL right now. And then behind him, there's nothing that we know of right now. We're talking about just a bunch of unproven guys at all. I mean, we don't know anything about these guys. We're talking about Phillip Gaines. We're talking about Steven Nelson. We're talking about your draft picks, Kevin Ray Russell and DJ White. We don't know anything about these guys. I mean, yes, Phillip Gaines played a little bit last year. Same goes with Steven Nelson, but not enough to make a decision one way or another if they're good or not. So for me, the cornerbacks, they're the weakness of this football team, which sucks because in the NFL nowadays, that's what people are doing. They're throwing the football against your cornerbacks, and you need to be able to defend that, to cover wide receivers. You need to be prepared for that, especially with Phillip Rivers throwing to Keenan Allen in your division, with Derek Carr throwing to Amari Cooper in your division. You have to look out, even with Mark Sanchez throwing to Demaryius Thomas in your division, is going to be a bit of an issue with these cornerbacks. And even though your safeties are good, I'm not sure that they're good enough to battle these guys. So, you know, when it comes to the Chiefs this season, you know, last year you guys went 11-5, and it was after winning 10 straight games. A little bit of an odd thing there. I think it's going to be a little bit of a step back. I think the thing is, right now, again, we're waiting for Justin Houston to come back, and there is some players getting old. You know, Derek Johnson's getting a little bit old. Tom Bahali is getting a little bit old. You know, they're not going to be able to produce as much, and I don't think you have the good young players that I'm seeing rising on this football team defensively right now, other than Marcus Peters, for me to just go all in. But I think you guys are going to be a good team and even a playoff team. Let's look at the schedule. So let's start, once again, you guys are in the AFC West. Let's start there. So I honestly think it's 3-3, splitting with each and every team in the AFC West. The Chargers, I know you guys swept them last year. They're going to be better. You know, they're going to be, I think, 7-9. They're going to be better, and they're going to split with you guys. I really, truly believe that. You guys go up against the Raiders. You know, I think, yet again, this is a split. And then, again, with the Denver Broncos, I think it's a split. So I think 3-3 in the AFC West. You guys go up against the AFC South. You will have some success here, but you guys go at Houston week 2. I think that's a loss. At Indianapolis in week 8, I think that's a loss. But then you host the Tennessee Titans in week 15, and you host the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 9. I think those are wins. So you're 2-2. That is 5-5 thus far. You guys go up against the NFC South. This includes Week 10 going at Carolina, Week 11 hosting Tampa Bay, Week 13 going to Atlanta, and then Week 7 hosting New Orleans. You know, again, I have you guys losing the road games. I have you guys, I have you guys beating the Atlanta Falcons here. So I do think you guys will beat the Atlanta Falcons on the road, but I have you guys losing to Carolina at Carolina. I think that's a loss. I'm 100% sure on that. But then hosting the Saints and then hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think you guys can win these games and will win these games. But be careful because these are dangerous teams right here. I don't think that either one of these teams will be making the playoffs, but I think they're going to be 8-8 or above. They're dangerous teams. Be careful when you're facing these teams. Remember last year, the Chicago Bears went to y'all's house and got that win early in the season. This could happen again. Y'all be careful when you're facing these teams. So you guys go 3-1 against the NFC South, and then you have to go up against the teams that finish concurrently with you in your divisions, in their respective divisions. So that means going up against the New York Jets in week 3, hosting them. You're hosting them. I think that's a win. Again, I'm assuming you're winning a lot of road games. Winning a lot of home games, but then losing a lot of road games. That's just what I see happening. And then you guys also have to go up against the team that finished second in the AFC. What would that be? AFC North, excuse me. And that'd be the Pittsburgh Steelers week 4 at Pittsburgh. I think that is a loss. So if you're going by what I'm saying, I only have you guys winning 1 road game. That's probably not going to happen. You probably will win 2, but I have you guys winning every home game. That's not going to happen. You're probably going to lose 1, maybe 2. I think it's 9-7. That's my prediction. My prediction is 9-7, but I'll tell you this, best case scenario, it's 11-5 again. I don't see you guys improving upon last year's record. I really don't see that. I think that's just the absolute best case scenario. And the worst case scenario is 8-8. I don't see you guys being much worse than that. Assuming you're healthy, of course, because we assume health when we're talking about the worst case scenario. It's 8-8. You'll be better than that, or that at least. But again, my prediction is 9-7. I think there are just some issues here, but I do have 9-7 being a wild card team in the AFC. So I have you guys making the playoffs, but I think the Raiders are just a better team, a younger team, a faster team, and they're going to win the AFC West this year. So what do you guys think about the upcoming Kansas City Chiefs 2016 season? Make sure to comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, and most importantly, to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. Peace.